Am I being too much, or did I just recognize a pattern that you didn't think anyone else noticed? You always feel like too much to the people who've lived their lives in the shadows. People who are used to their behavior going unchecked. But if you're a neurospicy girly with that insane level of pattern recognition, you can clock someone in 2 minutes flat. And that will make people deeply uncomfortable.
Breaking habits on life on. Maybe it's just bad for me. Truth is, it's bad.
Welcome to Boldly Becoming. This is your new digital safe space. It's where we explore what it means to grow, to heal, and to just unfold into who we've always been. So if you're here, you probably already know what it feels like to notice things that other people miss, to feel like you're living on your own planet, okay? The shift in tones, the subtle micro expressions, the way a person's energy shifts the moment you assert yourself. And while some people love to dismiss that as overthinking, the truth is it's discernment. So pattern recognition isn't paranoia. And I just want you to understand that it's your nervous system, it's your intuition, and your lived experience all working together. When you trust it, it can protect your heart, your peace, and your future. It's a must. I mean, I personally feel like pattern recognition is an incredible asset in relationships, both platonic and romantic. Think about it. You notice the way someone's, tone changes when you set a boundary. Like you are clocking it, you're picking up on it. You notice the way they go quiet when the attention isn't on them. The way their energy shifts when you share good news. You are literally 10 steps ahead of everyone. And that is not paranoia. I know they love to gaslight you into thinking that, but again, that is discernment. The greatest gift, okay? And here's the hard truth. Nobody gets more upset than someone who just got caught in their own cycle. The same cycle they've been repeating unconsciously or consciously for years. So when you clock that pattern and name it, they don't just get mad at you. They get mad at the truth itself. Because once the truth is spoken, it can't be unseen. And now these people feel exposed.
You just said that you didn't talk to her.
And I think this is where so many of us sabotage ourselves because we notice a pattern, we speak on it, and suddenly we're the problem. I need you to remember again, their issue with the truth is a problem with them and the truth, not you and the truth. I mean, the relationships that have been the healthiest for me weren't just the I'm gonna hype you up friend, okay? They were the ones that my friends could say, girl, I don't think that was the best way for you to handle that. Or, do you feel like you should take some accountability here? I love to be held accountable. I love for people to give me feedback. That's love to me. And I don't feel attacked. I feel so loved when someone can come to me and want to, smooth over any conflict because accountability and love go hand in hand. That's just the type of girl that I am. That's the type of friend that I am. But let me be honest, those kinds of people are rare, okay? And a lot of people don't actually want mirrors. They don't. They want an audience. They want enablers. They want flying monkeys. They want yes women. They want people that don't challenge them. They want the girls in the pictures. They want you to be quiet though, okay? You could be in the selfie, but I don't need you to tell me about myself. So when you are mirroring them instead of, echoing, you're almost always going to be painted as a problem. So just get used to it. And just know that these people are going to weed themselves out. And
Having high pattern recognition is more often a curse than it is a blessing. And it's mostly because, wherever this high pattern recognition is derived from, whether it's a touch of the tism, extremely high IQ, something else, being an expert in your field, generally what that means is you're warning people against something bad that's going to happen, and you're almost never believed. And so people like this, like me, we develop a Cassandra complex. And if you don't know who Cassandra is, in ancient Greek mythology, she was a princess of Troy, Trojan princess. She was the younger sister of Hector. And Apollo really liked her, the god Apollo. And so he was like, yo, if you get with me, I'll give you the ability to see the future. And so she was like, okay, bet. And then after she got the power to see the future, she was like, oh, JK, I don't like you and I'm not getting with you. And Apollo was like, okay, bitch, well, you're cursed to foresee the future and never be believed. That's me.
And this isn't an age thing either, because I've seen it in the older people, younger people, church, corporate. The influencer world, people don't age out of this behavior, which is why we have to know when to trust our discernment and protect it. So here are a few tools for guarding that discernment, okay? So I want you to listen the first time. A lot of the things that I say are going to be repetitive, but we need it. We need it, okay? But when someone shows you who they are, believe them. I don't know why we try to explain the things away. We know, okay? We know. If the pattern shows up twice, it is no longer a coincidence. It's confirmation. That's not just psychology, that's discernment. And discernment is spiritual, okay? People will try to trick you out of it. They'll gaslight you, make you second guess what you know you saw, what you know you felt.
Let me tell you something. The first time that you peep that something is not for you is the only time and the only warning that you need to grab your things and go. I mean, you need to get out of Dodge. You don't need to sit around and wait for something to prove to you that it's not for you when you discern that at the beginning. Your discernment is always working with you, even if you're not working with it. Too many of us have spent too much time not trusting ourselves, not trusting our gut. And as a result, the very thing that you discerned in the beginning ends up unfolding. You knew it all along. You shouldn't be shocked because you knew it at the beginning and you still stuck around. You still stayed to see it through, to see what was going to happen. And while it's great that you did have the perseverance to stick it through, you could have saved yourself a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, a lot of trauma, a lot of unnecessary drama had you used your discernment in the beginning. See, I'm not sticking around to confirm that something is not for me. The first time it feels fake. The first time it feels performative. The first time it feels wrong is the only time I need to grab my things and go. I don't need to stick around to see the rest of the movie. I didn't see the trailer. And the beautiful thing about discernment is that it is not just a feeling. It's not just an emotion. It is a combination of your own experiences in life and the experiences of others that you've evaluated and analyzed. And you put that together and you come to this conclusion within yourself that allows you to kind of have a foreshadowing of events, that allows you to kind of see, hey, this might not be a step I need to take. And I just know for a fact that so many of us have not trusted ourselves, have not trusted our discernment, have gaslit ourselves into believing that we cannot trust ourselves. And so I hope and pray that this will be a year of increased discernment for all of us. Because with all the things that are going on in the world, you don't need to just be subjecting yourself into your own pain, into your own trauma, if you can prevent that at the forefront, okay? I know personally, I would have saved myself a whole lot of time fooling with certain people, places, and things had I used my discernment at the beginning. Had I cut it at the beginning. Had I let it go at the beginning. Had I believed who you said you were at the beginning, I wouldn't be here today trying to overcome trauma and trying to heal. You see what I'm saying?
You have to trust your inner witness more than the outside noise. Your intuition is a form of divine, it's like source code to God. It's divine intelligence. And ignoring it is how we end up entangled with people or situations that drain us of our life force, our joy, our whimsy. Okay, our whimsy, the thing that makes us so special and fairy-like. But with all that being said, not every truth needs to be spoken because, again, some people don't want mirrors. They only want magnifiers. So you have to learn to protect your observations until you know that this person is a safe space. A practical way to do this is to practice holding silence. So notice something, write it down if you have to, sit with it before you rush to share. I know sometimes we just want to get right to the bottom of things, but when it's real discernment, it won't expire. So trust me, write it down, sit with it. You don't have to address things right away, but you do need to clock things right away so that you can learn to trust yourself.
Once you get to a certain point in life, you realize that silence is literally so much more powerful than anything that can come out of your mouth. Learn to accept things exactly where they are. Learn to not be so reactive because people will do things purposely to you to get you to react so you can play into the narrative of who they are saying that you are to other people. Right now, there's somebody watching your page for somebody else. There is somebody that is digging your name in the ground, calling you every fake ass bitch, calling you every lame ass dude, calling you every brokey, calling you every fake weird girl, everything. There's somebody saying that and doing those things right now. Get over it. It is what it is. It took me a long time to realize that everything literally doesn't need to be addressed. It took me a long time to realize that some shit is literally just not worth the time, the energy, the effort of speaking on it, because what does it do? It does nothing. And even more, if it's a situation that you truly don't want to fix anyway, why are you speaking on it? You don't want to fix it. You don't really care. Why are you speaking and addressing it and bringing life and attention to it when you don't really care about it? Move on. Everybody isn't your friend. Just because they're family doesn't mean they like you. Doesn't mean they love you. Just because they seem cool for a while doesn't mean that there couldn't be motives there. Doesn't mean that they couldn't switch up on you. This is life, and this is what I have realized. I literally don't trust anybody. And that is no shade to my husband because obviously I trust him. But what I do mean is that at the end of the day, anybody can switch up on you at any given time. And you have to be able to get past that without all the extra shit and without all the emotions. Some shit just is what it is, and you don't need to call this friend up and talk about it. You don't need to screenshot this. You don't need to tell them to go look on their page. It is what it is. You don't have to talk about it. Just leave the situation alone and move the fuck on.
You need to gauge safely before sharing. Ask yourself questions like, do they take feedback with curiosity or are they defensive? Or do they hold me accountable or do they just only expect one-way praise? Do they genuinely seek the truth more than often or applause? That reflection right there will save you from a lot of unnecessary battles. Please listen to me, guys, because we have to also learn to balance our ego. Because listen, having an ego isn't bad. It's human. But unchecked ego, yours or theirs, can turn discernment into judgment. So the goal isn't to like catch people slipping, no aha moments. It's to stay aligned with yourself. So a daily practice here can be journaling. What is this situation teaching me about me? Everything is inward. It's not about other people. That keeps you in alignment, not arrogance. And I think when you start to get to know yourself and learn about yourself, we tend to lean more towards arrogance, but you gotta keep checking yourself, okay? You have to anchor in love. What you choose to do, when you choose to speak your truth, deliver it with tenderness. Truth without love is a weapon, okay? But truth with love, that's medicine. Sometimes the way you share the truth determines whether it heals or harms.
Did you ever think about the fact that sometimes one of the ways that people develop a lack of empathy is by actually surviving a really difficult traumatic situation without anyone extending any empathy to them? I'm sorry, that's not true. That's a bullshit excuse. Why do you think that? Because I also experienced some really difficult and actually traumatic situations, and I still have empathy. Yeah, except for the people that don't have empathy. What? Do you see how you kind of just proved me right? I said that a lack of empathy can sometimes be caused by a lack of empathy. Yeah? Then you disagreed and said that the reason you didn't think that was true was because of the very fact of what I just said, which is that you went through a very difficult and traumatic situation without anyone extending you empathy. But I didn't lose my empathy, that's my point. But you did, because you don't have empathy for the people that don't have empathy. But I'm not having empathy for people that don't have empathy. That's not the same thing as not having empathy for people in general. I don't even think everyone's entitled to your empathy. I'm just saying that the same reason that some people develop a lack of empathy that you call bullshit is the same reason that you are having a lack of empathy for people that don't have empathy. I empathize with people that have been traumatized, okay? I don't empathize with people that are hateful. I totally get that, but sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes being hateful is a result of being traumatized. So what are you saying? That there are certain times that we should actually condone a lack of empathy? I'm kind of more saying that in the same way that forgiveness doesn't really have anything so much to do with the other person, empathy doesn't so much have anything to do with condoning anything. I empathize with people that deserve it, okay? Isn't that kind of the same thing as forgiving people that have done nothing wrong to you? Like, this kind of doesn't mean anything, right? I have no fucking idea what I've been through. I went through some traumatic shit on my own and no one was there to help me. No one gave me any handouts. I didn't turn into a monster. I didn't lose my fucking empathy. It's no fucking excuse. I mean, obviously the same traumatic situation is going to turn some people into sour monsters and some people into empathetic angels. Like, I get that. All I'm saying is that, like, at its core, going through traumatic things by yourself without anybody extending any empathy to you or compassion is always going to be, to a certain extent, what develops a lack of empathy in that person, even if it's towards other people that lack empathy. Shut up. Yeah, okay.
Shift the frame. Once you see a pattern, it's no longer unconscious. It's a choice, right? So that's where your power begins, because discernment without action is just observation. Discernment with action is protection. So I want to hear from you. Have you ever ignored a pattern you noticed only to later realize, wait, my instincts were right? Or have you ever had that one friend who could call, you out with love, and instead of resenting them, you realize, wow, this person loves me. This is what real accountability feels like. I mean, a personal story for me, I distinctly, oh God, I have to figure out how to tell this story without it getting too juicy, but I had a friend who was super manipulative. I mean, to the point where it was almost like, girl, we see you. I do have the text message that you sent. You did and said these things. And she was just so used to manipulating her way out of, I mean, the girl probably should have been, I don't even know if a lawyer is the right, I don't know. But anyway, this person would always try to gaslight my memory, right? Or my recollection of things. And it got to a point where I felt so uncomfortable in our friendship that I had to start documenting things for my own sanity. And that should have been the first red flag. If I'm in friendship, if I'm in community with you, and I feel like I have to protect myself by documenting things, you need to either be demoted from inner circle to just maybe an acquaintance, because there's a level of distrust there that level of distrust is happening inside of me because I'm not trusting myself in my memory and second guessing myself. And two, I'm never going to be able to show up fully if I'm walking on eggshells because I'm afraid of being manipulated out of my memory, right? And I don't know if this is a neurospicy thing or a trauma thing for me, but my memory, I've sharpened it a lot lately because I'm really working on myself, but my memory used to be so bad. I mean, I'll never forget one time it was like, yeah, you said you would buy her that. And I was like, oh God, did I? And because I never wanted to disappoint, right? I bought the thing. I never said that. And I knew I didn't. But because I didn't trust my own memory, and this person knew that and was able to manipulate that, I ended up buying this very expensive thing. This is just one very surface example. I don't want to give too many because I don't want people trying to guess who, right? But I definitely felt like my memory was weaponized against me in this relationship. When I started waking it up, when I started calling it out, when I started showing receipts, that relationship, I mean, I feel like now in hindsight, I knew when it shifted and that it was going to end. But this person did not like the fact that, one, I'm not going to let you play with me like that. No, you may be able to do that to everybody else in your borough, honey, but you're not going to do it to me. And I started holding boundaries. Like sometimes that boundary was a no. Sometimes the boundary was like, I don't recall it being said that way, or I don't recall it happening that way. You got to check people the first time. But I didn't. And I let a lot of things slide and I let things go on and on and on and on and on. So I just want you guys to trust yourselves. And just if there's anything that I really want you to work on is that, because that self-trust takes you so far.
It's causing brain damage. When you're constantly with people who are telling you the opposite of the truth and lying to you, omitting things and changing your perception of reality, it is damaging your brain because you're forcing yourself to go against what you're seeing as the truth in order to maintain a relationship and bond with them. And so your memories, that a lot of the brain power and processing place that you're able to make memories with or think about things or remember things, it takes the it literally adds stress to your brain that it makes it harder to hold on to them. It diminishes your brain capacity being with people who are constantly lying and manipulating.
Drop your story in the comments, or you can send it privately if you rather, because when we share these stories, we remind each other that we're not crazy, that we're not alone. We're just noticing patterns in the world that they would probably rather keep hidden. Your pattern recognition isn't a curse. I know it feels like it sometimes, but again, it's discernment. It's your nervous system, your spirit, and your life experience all working together. Okay? All together now. Some people won't want your mirror, okay? And that's fine. But don't dull your gift to make them comfortable. Just guard it, cherish it, and use it wisely. Because once you see a pattern, it is no longer a pattern. It's a choice. And yes, I like to repeat things because that's that echo that helps me remember. And I hope it helps you too. And knowing these things is really and is how your freedom really begins. So never forget, you are boldly becoming and softly unfolding into everything that you already are. Okay, we just here to sharpen the pencil. I don't know why I'm doing all these things with my hands, but I love you and I will see you in the next episode.